It's Tuesday, September the 12th, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson is hoping that by taking a shot at drug addiction, he can help reduce the number of gun crimes here. Sir Marston yesterday morning announced a series of measures aimed at overhauling the judicial system, speed up the administration of justice, and reduce crime. One of his proposed plans is to make greater use of the drug treatment court with a view to shrinking the market for illegal substances, which he linked to rising gun violence. Now, the Chief Justice told members of the judiciary who were attending the opening of the new legal year that the court's aim was to wean addicts off drugs and return them to society as productive citizens. The Chief Justice also announced an operational review of the Supreme Court's Registration Department with the intention to eliminate some of the duplication of efforts in the registry and to retrain staff, although he did not go into details. He announced changes to the working hours of judges, taking at least one off the roster each month to allow them more time to write their judgments. Now, this, he said, would help reduce the worrying backlog. Meanwhile, Acting Attorney General Michael Lashley told Barbados Today that magistrates will shortly be given more powers for sentencing.
There will be some move also to strengthen the hands of magistrates in terms of sentencing. Currently, a magistrate can sentence only up to 5 years based on certain pieces of legislation, particularly the Drug Use and Prevention and Control Act. But magistrate powers basically is limited at this stage. So I know for a fact that Cabinet has approved, and the Substantive Attorney General will give the details.
President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, says certain government ministers are seemingly bent on discrediting high-ranking union officials and belittling the work of the union. Redmond's comments come in response to a suggestion by Minister of Industry and Commerce Donville Innes that the union leader was willing to shut down the island's school system over a matter involving her son, who was fired from the St. Michael's School.
The relationship between the union member, who is entitled to representation like any other member regardless of familial relationships to officers, was made known to the general membership of the union 2 days after the matter that created the grievance arose. At the short meeting with the Board of Management and the subsequent informal fact-gathering meeting with the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of the Civil Service, the President recused herself and Mr. Patrick Frost led those presentations. At a scheduled but subsequently cancelled meeting, Sir Roy was also scheduled to be part of the delegation to present on the members' behalf. There is nothing that the President or any other officer has done to compromise herself or himself in pursuance of this matter. We have, as always, followed correct procedure and established protocol.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados Today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the window for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shining. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The death toll from Hurricane Irma continues to rise in the Caribbean. Last week, the rate, which was placed at around 24 by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, or SEDEMA, has now moved to at least 30, with 10 reported in Cuba.
Irma made landfall in Cuba on Friday as a Category 5 storm, blasting into seaside towns and causing flooding in low-lying area of Havana. Winds of 125 miles per hour ripped roofs off buildings, uprooted trees from the ground, and forced evacuations. It's still not clear how the 10 fatalities happened.
Meanwhile, the Guyana government pledges its full support to ensuring that its storm-ravaged Caribbean neighbors get back on their feet as soon as possible. Yesterday, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu announced that Guyana will be providing US $50,000 through SEDIMA, which is coordinating the regional relief effort.
As you know, the issue of commuting is a difficult one, and we wouldn't be able to, at this point in time, to ferry or to airlift material, but to the extent that those countries that are affected would need to have certain immediate supplies, money would be important to be transmitted.
And on the global front, Hurricane Irma was downgraded to a tropical storm as it flooded several northern Florida cities with heavy rain and a high storm surge yesterday. More in this Euro News report.
Hurricane Irma continues to batter Florida with winds of over 200 kilometers an hour in some parts. Early Monday morning, the storm was centered around Fort Myers, but its direction seems to be constantly changing. After hitting the Florida Keys, it made its way slowly up the west coast, but the strong winds extended to Miami on the Atlantic east side. Many places have been hit by extensive flooding. Irma extends to over 600 kilometers at its widest point, and it's forecast to head off in a northwesterly direction, although there may not be much relief for Floridians as Jose is hot on its heels. The authorities say 3 storm-related deaths have so far been reported in Florida. Almost 3 million homes across the state lost power, and officials say it could take weeks to restore electricity to everyone.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.